Oh man, that's a big flub. You know what? I'm not going to start again. I'm going to go through everything pretty quickly. What I was trying to say before is there has actually been a walkover between Big Fan and Bonneth. They couldn't schedule a game at the right time, but because Big Fan did actually try, um, he got the walkover. That's why we're starting with a 1-0 victory to Team Liquid. That we're going to be starting on Chupung-Ryeong, which is what I just went into. That's actually kind of funny. I can't believe I'm muted. Nobody told me in chat. I feel... Yeah, that's kind of funny. Not really too much I can do about that now, but I really wish someone had said I was muted, because that's pretty much wasted about 5 minutes of me talking. But yeah, as you can see, maps for today, same as the other casting days. It's going to be Judgment Day as the first map, although not in this series. Sin Chupung-Ryeong as the second game. New Empire of the Sun as the third game. Neo Moonglaive as the fourth. And finally, in the ace match, we'll be heading on to Gladiator for a little bit of fun. Gladiator, obviously one of the more common maps out of the four of these. You don't really see the other ones that much anymore. But we should have some good games either way. As you can see, today's lineup, I'm just going to go through it quickly. Big Fan versus Bonneth has already technically been played. It's a walkover, so ignore that one. You've got V1 versus Dewalt, 2-pack versus Seok, Flash for the win versus Terra, and then if it gets to it, the all-important ace match. Now, I tried to explain that the table's a little bit buggy, and that should improve later on, but you can kind of see the standings of the team so far. You can see who won their series and who lost. Obviously, we've got two more series coming up today, and the other two teams did get a bye. So, Psystorm and Foreign Brood War All Stars haven't actually played this week. Of course, today's match. And finally, I'll just quickly say shout outs to Navani for making these wonderful shirts. I think they make things look a little bit better. So thank you very much for making those. They look better than any of the ones we designed. So thank you very much. Let's just quickly looking at the map stats. I was trying to say that I don't think that the map will really come into it in PvP too much. It is a two-player map. I think the biggest feature is going to be the two high ground pods outside the natural. I think if one player can actually control those, it's going to make it incredibly difficult for the other players to actually break into that. So, without further ado, let's go into the first game. It is going to be between V1 and Dewalt. And let's get going, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, the game isn't appearing, is it? Oh, there we go. Cool. We are all ready to go. So, starting us off in the bottom left, 7 o'clock position, we do have the green Protoss, V1. And his opponent spawning us off in the top right position, we do have the peach Protoss. It's Dewalt, playing for SK Alpha. Now, I'm very glad I actually checked my microphone, because I could have casted the entire series in mute and I would have never known. But yeah, here we go. So, looks like we're going to have a very quick pylon for Dewalt. Looks like the pylon for V1 is in kind of an odd position. I'm not really sure about this, but maybe he has a grand plan. I think he can still build his gateway there, so maybe it won't cause too many problems. Maybe he wants to put his core behind here or something. But we'll have to see how this sort of pans out as we go through the game. I'm just going to quickly change my mouse scroll speed, because what keeps happening is I keep scrolling like really far. But yeah, there we go. Gateway on the right side of the Nexus. Gateway coming up for Dewalt as well. Nothing too crazy whatsoever. Looks like we're going to have V1 with the quicker scout. This is going to give him a little bit more information. Gonna prove to him that his opponent isn't expanding. I mean, it's PvP. But this is going to be important. This is what he's going to scout. He's going to see the two gateways. We are going to have both pros passing each other. And V1 is going to see exactly what he needs to see. Let's actually just take a look at his vision. Here we go. Sees both the gateways, pulls away immediately. What is his reaction going to be? Is he going to add a second gate himself? Or is he going to try and get up to two Dragoons? Looks like he's got his gas coming up. The probe going back into scout, just make sure there's no gas from his Protoss opponent. And should transition into a fairly standard game, I guess. It's going to be really interesting. Looks like we do have a second gateway coming up. Interesting choice. It's going to be very delayed compared to the 2 gateways of Dewalt here. But maybe it will be enough to hold on. I guess we'll have to find out. Will he go into a Cybernex core as well? Looks like he's skipped out on gas. He did build a gas, but he's not going for any. So I think he is just going to try and rely on Zealots to actually defend against this. Now, will this probe actually get out? He's not. There we go. Really nice glitching out on that probe with the Zealot. Now, it's kind of surprising that he didn't just mineral walk home, but maybe he doesn't want to get stuck outside of the base. That could be quite dangerous, but in a kind of weird twist of fate, there's actually 2 Zealots out at the same time as the 3 Zealots for Dewalt are moving across the map. Now, is this going to be enough to defend? It's going to be very difficult for Dewalt's Zealots to actually move up over the ramps, so this is going to be quite dangerous. Now, he does have this probe here, and he can try and glitch the Zealots up. Now, this is going to be a pretty important part of this game. If he can successfully drill through to the gas and push the Zealots out the way, which it looks like he's trying to do. Can Dewalt break up the ramp? It looks like V1's going to retreat. The Zealots actually get into the main. This is so huge. This is such a big little bit of pathing error by V1, and this is going to give Dewalt an extremely big advantage moving into this. Interestingly, he's sending his 4th Zealot home. I can see that through the... okay, so this actually going surprisingly well for V1. I thought Dewalt would actually be able to get some probes, but all that seems to be missing right now is some mining time. But this is actually a really good engagement by V1. V1 could actually go on the counter-attack, and I think that's why Dewalt has actually decided to bring his Zealots back. He knows that this is a dangerous position now. V1 is going to be moving on to Dragoons very shortly, and he does have the Zealot advantage. Is Dewalt's core done? Yes. Both of the cores are done, and both of them are upgrading range. It looks like the range for Dewalt is actually coming up a little bit quicker, which actually surprises me quite a lot. But here we go. First Dragoon is out. Is it going to get caught by the Zealots? This could be a very, very powerful engagement for V1. Now, V1 is not an unknown player as such, but compared to Dewalt, who arguably is one of the top foreign Protoss players at the moment, V1 does have his work cut out for him, and here we go. Looks like he's going to pull back away from the ramp, as he knows this is not an engagement he can take. And Dewalt is just going to look to secure his advantage. He did get a bit of an advantage before with the mining. Looks like we actually have a Robo coming up for V1. Not going to go for an expansion. Do we see the same for Dewalt? Looks like we will do. Robo from both sides. So both of them going to look to go into some Reaver play. Now V1 is being a little bit sneaky here. Also just trying to scout around, just making sure there's no proxies. Proxies on this map can be quite powerful in that location. An OSL was won because of that location right there, so... Well, at least partly won because of that location, but here we go. Both players looking to be scouting around for any proxies, just making sure there's nothing strange going on. Also checking for any sort of hidden units that may be coming in from the backside to try and take out some units. Now, their robo facilities are... Even though range was in favour of Dewalt, even it looks like V1 did get his robo up slightly faster. He did start mining that gas a little bit earlier. You can even see with the gas counts. Now it looks like both of them going to be scouting with the probes. Just checking exactly what their opponent is doing. Making sure they can do what they need to do as well. Looks like Dewalt is going to move up and take his high ground. He knows not to actually lose that to his opponent. Strangely, V1 isn't actually sending all of his units there. We actually have an observatory and the robotic support base, so... That's interesting. So Dewalt isn't actually going into Reavers, he's actually just going into Robo. Now that could be a huge mistake. If V1 can actually get a shuttle out pretty quickly, which he will be after this observer, and then he's going to be able to get some Reavers, and this could be pretty bad. Now, V1 has actually gone for the observer first, and Dewalt did choose to go for the shuttle. So whether or not this is going to play a difference, I mean, against Dragoons it can be a little bit difficult to actually get the shuttle to do anything. But did I miss the support main? No, here we go. Support main now just finishing up. Looks like we have a Reaver before shuttle here for V1, possibly thinking about waddling it up to the defense. Maybe he's willing to give up the game, but here we go. It looks like V1 will scout out all of Dewalt's army. Oh, and that's such an important observer snipe. That is so huge. That time spent from the robo, which was away from building a shuttle, is actually going to cause a lot of pain here. He'll have nothing to do the same back. He's not going to be able to really afford to build an observer. He is, though. He's building another observer. He does not want to lose the DTs, and he doesn't know what his opponent's doing, and that's going to be a big problem throughout the entire game. Looks like the Reaver is in fact waddling up. I didn't think we'd actually see that. But we do. And here we go. It looks like he will actually scout that there is a shuttle and a Reaver. And going to scout the Nexus as well, which is pretty big, but is V1? Does V1 have enough? Dewalt is up 10 supply right now. He's on the high ground, but not with everything. The Reaver's not here. He needs to pull back to his Reaver, but if he loses his high ground, this is going to be such a big area for Dewalt to actually hold on to. And it looks like he's trying to micro back into the Reaver. Looks like the shuttle should be with this force as well. And here we go. The Reaver is off to the side. Can he get a Scarab? He actually gets a Scarab off on the other Reaver. Looks like all of the Dragoons are going down. And this could be a very, very quick engagement for Dewalt as he was fighting from the high ground. V1 trying to expand as well, but I don't think he has time. That second Observer is not a Reaver. The Observer may even get sniped again. And V1 just does not have enough units to hold on. He's trying his best. The second Reaver has come out. Is it going to be enough? The Dragoons are going to be able to get up the ramp. Can they take down the Reaver? It looks like they will. A big Scarab does go down, but doesn't kill anything. And V1 loses absolutely everything. Is forced to GG. And Dewalt will tie up the series 1-1. Okay, that was a pretty quick game.